Hi everybody, come on in. I'm just starting to pull everything up. Make sure I mute my speakers. And get all of this to all the places. Hi Darren. I'm just getting this shared out to a couple places. You can hear, thank you so much. I think this is like the hardest part of the live is getting everything shared. I would really appreciate it if you could do that. As well. That makes it helpful. Pop in, say hello. Let me know you're here with me. Like I said, I'm just getting ready to share this to one more place, and then I will be ready to begin. I'm going to play with a pancake wreath, and I'm going to do Patriotic, and I'm going to do it in a way that I haven't done before. So it's kind of an experiment tonight. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Usually I do crafting after dinner, but we're going to go meet a friend and actually leave the house for dinner, which is shocking. So I'm doing crafting before dinner. So thank you so much for joining me. All right, so the sign itself has well, let me start from the beginning. I guess that would probably be best if I did that. So let me go back over here to my page so I can find you and any comments. I guess that would probably be best. See, and the volume's back on. There we go. Okay, so the volume's back off, so I'm not echoing. All right, so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a pancake wreath. And so if you have not heard of a pancake wreath before, what that is that is a wreath that is, it's full size, but it's just not thick. So it's great if you have like a storm door or a screen door in front of your main front door, because it allows you to still have something pretty on your front door. Hi Lisa, allows you to have something pretty on your front door, but still allows you to close the screen door or the storm door. So tonight what I'm going to do is like I said, I'm going to do a pancake wreath, and I'm going to use two different colors of mesh. I've got some fabric stripe mesh here, and I've got a blue and white and then a red and white. And then I have this really cute eagle that Tina from Out in the Country Blanks and More sent me in her April mystery box. So this will be the attachment for the sign, and I'm choosing this one again because it's not real thick, and I think it'll look really cute with the wreath that I'm creating. And then for the ribbon, I'm just going to use some 2.5-inch stars. I think I got this one at Michael's, and then this one came from maybe Deco Exchange or Fifth Street Studio or someplace like that. So I bought this one online, and then I got this one at Michael's last year. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and put the ties on my base. And with a pancake wreath, you use 12 ties, and the way that they work is you put one on each crossbar, and then you put one in each section in the middle on the top circle. So if I were to count my bars, I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So between 1 and 2 at each crossbar, I'm going to put a pipe cleaner, and then on 3 and 4 in the middle of the section, I'm going to put a pipe cleaner, and that's where my mesh will go once I get it all cut. And so I'm hoping by using the red and the white, I'm going to do I'm going to do 1/3 with the blue and the white, and then 2/3 red and white, kind of like a flag is what I'm hoping it's going to look like. So I am just kind of experimenting, like I said, with the color design. I've made pancake wreaths before, and actually they're one of my favorite types of wreaths to make because they're pretty quick, they are pretty, and for me it means I don't have to make a bow, because bows and I are not always the best of friends. So I've got several different bow makers, and I just don't, if I get out of practice, then it takes me a long time to get back in practice. And that's kind of what happened is the last quarter of 2020, I didn't do much crafting, and I got out of practice, and I haven't practiced much since then, so I still fight when making my bows. What's one of the biggest challenges you have if you're a crafter? I know that there are a lot of people who don't do bows well, but other people have hard times like matching ribbon or deciding what method to use based on the type of mesh they have. Alright, so I've got my 12 pipe cleaners, Chanel stems, twist ties, whatever you want to call them, here on my base. And this is just a 14-inch base from the Dollar Tree. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my mesh. And I'm going to start off with the blue and the white, because that's where I want to put it into 2/3 of my wreath. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of blue mesh, because I want it to go in this 2/3 section here, because essentially if I set the wreath like this, then I feel like that'll look more like a flag, kind of like pretty close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of the blue and white mesh, and then I'll do 7 pieces of the red and white mesh. Lisa, your biggest challenge is bows too? I don't know why. I think the hardest time I have is once I get them together is fluffing them. I can't get them to fluff the way that I want. I don't know what I do to my loops. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up. I should have opened this up before I started, so I apologize for the noise. And I might as well open them both up. And then I've got my super fancy Dollar Tree wreath roller. Literally, this is a basket from the Dollar Tree that I've broken. It's not even in very good condition. And then I took a hanger and I broke the bottom of it off, and I use it as my mesh roller. It's perfect for 10.5-inch mesh. Because when I use my larger 21-inch mesh, I just drop it on the floor anyway. So, but this works really well because the hanger fits between the holes on the side, and then I have a little table on the side of my desk, and I just put that on there opposite. It's like toilet paper, you know, you like your roll to go a certain way, and I didn't put it on the way that I like the roll to go. Okay, so I'm going to cut 5 pieces of 20-inch mesh to put in those first 5 slots. Okay, so I've got a weight to hold it down there for me. And so 20. Okay. And then what I do with this method is I put my curl up. So it curls this way. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a curl down tonight. It'll be easier. I'm going to do a curl down. And I'm just going to do a standard ruffle for a pancake wreath. So by that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my hands along the bottom here. My thumbs are in the middle. And I am going to use my fingers to pull the mesh towards me. So I'm not moving my thumbs at all. I'm just moving my fingers and pulling this mesh to me. And I'm stretching it up the middle. Okay, and what that's going to give me is kind of like a butterfly or like a petal. Some people call it a petal. And then I'm going to attach it right onto my wreath. And when I do this, I want to put it down as tightly against the base as I can. And then I'm going to pull it tight and I twist it twice. And then because this is a pancake, I don't want it to be sticking up. So then I'm going to take these parts that are standing up on this side and I'm just going to fold them down, and then each end I'm going to fold over each other, and that kind of hides some of the cut end so that you can't see as much fray. Okay, and that kind of just gives me just a flat, let's see what's an easy way to see that, kind of a very flat little ruffle there. And then I've got my twist tie hanging on the top. Now, there are some people that when they do a pancake wreath, when they put their ruffle on, they also add in their bow so they don't have to touch it more than once. And that's really just a personal preference as to which way you would prefer to do that. So because I'm showing you guys and I'm kind of doing an experiment with the design, I will go back and I will add my bow or my ribbon tails on after I do this. Okay, so again, I've got this curl side down. I've got my hands along the bottom. My thumbs are in the middle. And I am pulling the mesh to me rather than going to it. And that gives me a nice ruffle. And then I'm going to put it in the next pipe cleaner here. And I'm going to pull it down tight against the base, and then I always twist twice. And then I'm going to give this, I'm going to pull these pipe cleaners up, and then I am going to bend those down so that they're flat. And then I've got the top and the bottom on top of each other. Again, my goal is to have a very pretty wreath, but one that's not too thick, because I do want to be able to hang it between a screen door and either or a storm door and my front door. All right, so again, one other 20-inch, and I need a total of 5 of these for the way that I'm thinking I want this design to look. That in. Do this in the next tie. I'm gonna push this one underneath that top ruffle. Push everything in, bend it down, make it flat. One flat again. Another reason that I like to use the fabric mesh when I do a pancake wreath is because it's dense. So because we don't use a lot of mesh on a pancake wreath, I'm always concerned that you're going to be able to see down through it. And with the fabric mesh, because it is so dense, you don't get that problem. So I really like that. this one. This is number 4. I'm going to put the one on the bottom on first, and then I'll put that last top one on. Just pulling it tight, twisting twice, and then I'm going to fold this ruffle down, put them on top of each other, and try to keep them flat. Okay. One more blue, and then I'm going to move on to the red. We'll see how this turns out. All right, so I'm going to fold it over to 27, so I'll put 7, and one more time. Here we go. So that's the last blue. The only thing about the mesh is that it likes to stick to itself. So when you pull it off of itself, you want to make sure that you're not accidentally snagging it. And now that's all I'm going to do with the blue. The rest of the wreath is going to be red and white. And so for that one, I'll need 7 cuts. So I'm going to pull the one off of my ruler and then put the other one on. I could have kept them both on. I just didn't think that far ahead. All right, so here we go. 7 of these guys. And now that I'm putting it together, I'm remembering why a lot of times I put the ribbon on before I move on to the next layer, because these ruffles are big and they cover up those ties. It's funny, when you don't make something for a while, you forget all the little nuances that go along with it. So I pulled those together, got my little ruffle or butterfly, putting it on, twisting once as tight as I can against the base, or I'm crossing it and then I twist it twice, and again pulling these to make like a little petal, and then taking the ends and turning them upside down, because I want this to stay thin enough, again, so I can use it on a front door, but have it fit between a storm door or a screen door. My husband and I have lived all around the country, and I think it's really interesting how different areas of the country, some areas storm doors are very popular, or screen doors are very popular, and then in other parts of the country you don't see them very much. Right now we live in northern Nevada, and there's not a lot of screen or storm doors on homes, which I think is interesting, where like in the South or the Midwest where we've lived, all of our homes had screen doors or storm doors. We've lived in this house about 2 years, and I'm ready to add a storm door to our front door. I like to be able to have a little bit of that sunlight come into the house throughout the day. right, so 3 more cuts, and then I will be ready to add my ribbons and then my sign. So what I will do is I will prepare my sign before I cut my ribbon. That way all of the glue and stuff has time to dry before I try to attach it to the wreath. Now let's pull on the other roll. I'll move that on my little table over here. Just ruffling it. Put this bottom layer in first because the last 2 I have are on the top row. And I want them to sit nicely on top of this one. So I will fold that over, have it make a nice petal or ruffle, and then fold the poofy part under to try to keep it flat. And then here are my 2 others. Did you see that mesh just try to grab the wreath and take it with it? Alright, so here we go. Pulling it down, twisting twice, curling and folding under. Alright, so I think that with my mesh, I'm going to accomplish the look that I was going for, which was kind of like a flag. I think I have about 2/3 red and white and 1/3 blue and white. Wish I had some just really cute red and white striped ribbon, but in my stash of things, I don't. That'll be okay. Okay, so this is my last piece of mesh. Pulling tight, twisting twice, folding the petal over, and making sure the poofs are down to keep the height of the wreath down. Okay. All right, so the next thing I'll do is I'll take this sign that I received from Out in the Country Blanks and More. So these are all hand cut and hand painted. Her husband cuts them and then she paints them. So I like to use her products because it's supporting a small business. And there's a couple ways that I can attach wire or whatever to this sign. And the way that I'm going to do it today is I'm going to use cable mounts. And with the cable mounts, I'm just going to put one on each wing. I think that'll probably hold it. Or should I do it? Well, maybe I'll do it more like right here next to the beak and then towards the wing. All right, so when I do this, I also like to attach my pipe cleaners early in the process because I am very glue happy and I like to use quite a bit of glue. I also like to use quite a bit of glue because I'm not going to need a whole pipe cleaner for this because I'm not making a thick wreath. So let me take this pipe cleaner and trim it. Now, if I was going through a wreath that was 8 inches deep, then I would definitely want a whole pipe cleaner, but my wreath is only going to be maybe 3 or 4 inches deep. So I'm just going to use half a pipe cleaner, stick it through this cable mount, and then I'm going to get my DAP Rapid Fuse glue. You can use any super glue. A lot of times I use Gorilla Glue super glue, but right now what I have in my supply is the DAP. So I'm going to put a dot of DAP, and then pull this adhesive backing off and stick my cable mount on top of the DAP. Okay, so what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that the foam adhesive stays adhered to the wood. However, I have had the adhesive come out of the plastic casing along the top here, and these pipe cleaners have little, or these not pipe cleaners, but these cable mounts have little holes in the top that give you access to the foam. And so I always like to put a little bit of hot glue in there, because there's nothing more embarrassing than having somebody contact you because their sign fell down because it was in the direct sunlight and the adhesive from the cable mount let go. That happened to me last summer. Thank goodness I hadn't sold the wreath yet. I had it just on display in a salon. But the salon owner was like, "Your wreath broke." And I was like, "What?" Thank goodness it didn't actually break, and I figured out what happened. And so that is my fix for it. Okay, so again, I'm just going to put a dot of DAP got my cable tie mount on top of it. And then just a little bit of glue right there where the adhesive and the foam are exposed so that it doesn't let go. Okay, so now while that dries, I will work on cutting my ribbons and getting that attached to my wreath. So I'll put him over there. Make sure that my lid is screwed on tightly on my DAP. I don't want that to dry out. And now here's my ribbon. So with my ribbon, I think that I'm going to do, I don't know, I'm trying to decide between 10 or 12 inch. I think I'm going to do just 8-inch tails on these. And I am going to use an easy tail also from Out in the Country. This will be an Out in the Country accessory show. So I've got the Out in the Country sign, and then Out in the Country has the patent pending for the easy tail. And the easy tail is just an easy way to be able to cut tails, just like the name says. All right, so the way that this works is you just stick your ribbon right in there, and you count how many you need. So I'm going to need 12. Unless I want to do this just on the blue, then I'll need 5. Ooh. I'm going to cut 10, and I'll do this just on the blue, but I'll put 2 in each one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 10. Okay. So then I'm going to cut that off. And then what I like about the Easy Tail is that my scissors just fit right into this channel. And I can cut them. There's a band that comes with them too, with an Easy Tail, but I seem to have misplaced that. But the band is very helpful, especially if you start to do ribbons and then you have to walk away, because it keeps them in the right place. Okay, so I've got the blue ribbon tails cut. I do want to add dovetails to the ends of these, so I am going to clip the ends of them and give them some nice little V's. Okay, so when I do that, I just take the ribbon and I fold it in half so it's wire to wire, and then I cut at an angle towards the wire, and that gives me a nice V. Okay, so I'll do that on these blue here. Then I'll attach them to the wreath. And then I'll do the red. Trying to make sure my stack is nice and even. Looks pretty good there. Now sometimes when I make a pancake wreath, I will use 2.5 inch ribbon and a 1.5 inch ribbon. And usually I will make the 1.5 inch ribbon the one that I prefer the most, because I like for it to be on top. If I do use 2.5 inch ribbons, I put the design that I like best on top there too. All right, so for these, I am just going to take 2 pieces of ribbon, and I'm just going to fold them in half. That just kind of shows me where it is that I need to scrunch, and then I'm going to scrunch it up the middle, and I'm going to put it in my first twist tie that I have here. And I pull it tight and I twist it, and then once it's in there, I can pull the ribbon around and I can separate it into like an X. And poof them up a little bit. And I'm not going to cut the ends off of these yet because I might end up adding another component to the wreath, depending on how it looks once I get it done. I don't know how extra it's going to be. All right, so there's that. On to the next one. And sometimes I like to use these little 8-inch tails because they're a little bit more sassy. I feel like they curl a little bit better sometimes. They're not, although obviously they're not as long. So sometimes they behave better, I guess maybe is the word. So maybe they aren't sassy, I don't know. But I think they just have some really cute character when they're a little shorter sometimes. Hi, Tina. Using your stuff. Got your awesome sign from the mystery box this year. And I'm using the 8-inch Easy Tails on this cute pancake wreath, this Patriotic pancake wreath. So we'll see how this turns out. Again, I'm trying to make this kind of like a flag. So I wanted, like I said earlier, 1/3 to be blue and then 2/3 to be red and white, kind of like the flags are. And I'll see if it does what I want it to do. All right, so here's these 8-inch tails. They're actually really cute on this mesh. Got 2 more sets of the blue, and then I'll do the red. Get these together, put them up like this. Oh, the sun just moved where I live and now it's in my eyes. Alright, so there's twist and then spread. Okay. Oh yeah, I really do like these little tiny tails. Those are super cute. All right, last one, and then on to the red ribbon. Okay, so the red ribbon that I'm going to cut next came from Michael's, and this blue stars that I have probably came from Deco Exchange or from Shop 5th Street off of Etsy, or it could have come from Craft Outlet. Those are the main places that I grab ribbon. Okay, so the blue is on there, and from what I can see in the camera, that actually looks very, very cute. And now we'll do the red. Again, I'm going to continue the red, but I'm going to continue with the 8-inch. And so for this one, I need 14 because I have 7 ties. So give me just a moment to pull some sort of spool holder out. That makes it easier. And the last time I cut off this, I didn't cut straight. So let me start off straight. Okay. So again, this just goes right here in the channel. Just bend it over just a little bit, and then you count how many tails you want. And I want 7 times 2, so 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. Getting nervous looking at my roll of ribbon here. I was like, oh, I don't know how much I've got. Let's hope I have enough. So definitely 8 inches was the size tail that I wanted, because if I would have gone with a longer tail, I wouldn't have had enough of this cute red and white starred, or blue and white starred ribbon. Okay. So just like I did with the blue ribbons, I'm going to dovetail these. Or I'm going to try to. There we go. Or not. There we go. Okay. So again, wires are next to each other, and I'm cutting at a diagonal up to them so that I get a V. I just want this pile of ribbon to be straight when I make that cut. And then we'll do this one, this last little stack. The other thing that's nice about a pancake wreath is that they're quick, right? You have 12 pieces of mesh that you put on. You've got 24 ties and then a sign, and you're done. So it's also a nice quick project. All right, so let me throw this in the trash. Over here. Easy tail out of the way. Pull my base closer. Make sure I've got 2. And I'll fold these in half and scrunch them and add them to the red, white, or the red and white part. Oh, those are super cute. They look almost like little firecrackers. Alright. This is when sometimes I wish my workspace was just a little bit bigger. Pull them out, give them a little tug. All right. From the view that you guys have, that looks like it's going to be very cute. Not to say that it doesn't look cute from my view either, but you guys definitely have a bird's eye view from up above. Alright, so I've got that pulled out, and this pulled out and down. Those up high because I haven't decided if I'm going to add more or not. Another component. Hi, Kathleen. I got the red ribbon that I'm working with right now. I got from Michael's last year, and then the blue stars I received from, or I purchased from, it's either Deco Exchange, Fifth Street Studio on Etsy, or Craft Outlet. One of the three places for that. So I'm hoping that Michael's has this cute red and white star again for the summer. I really like it. It's got really cute glitter in it. And a lot of the starred stuff has the beige in it for like the Americana. And maybe I'm a purist. I just like the actual red, white, and blue. I'm not a huge fan personally of the Americana with either the beige or the tea stained or whatever with the red and the blue. I like it to be the white. Alright, so while I'm adding in these last little pieces of ribbon tail, I'll remind you what I did in my recipe. I started off by adding 12 chenille stems to a 14-inch Dollar Tree frame. I put on the outside, I put 6 stems on each crossbar, and then on the inside, I put one in the middle of each section. And then because I'm trying to do like a patriotic flag type of wreath, I did 5 cuts at 20 inches of the blue and white fabric mesh. And one of the reasons I chose fabric mesh is because it's more of a dense mesh, and it covers up the frame. And so I did 5 cuts of the blue and white, and then I did 7 cuts of the red and white. And then I cut my ribbon tails, which is what I'm finishing up now, and I cut 10 ribbon tails of the blue and 14 for the red, and I cut them at 8 inches, and then I attached them to each pipe cleaner. In between that, I did adjust, or prepare, I should say, a sign that I received from Out in the Country, Blanks and More, as part of her monthly mystery box. It's this really cute eagle that'll fit nice on this pancake wreath. And the reason that I chose to do a pancake wreath is because I wanted something that would fit between a storm door and a screen door. And usually when you make a pancake wreath, they're not any thicker than 3 or maybe 4 inches. So they are the perfect fit for your front door and your screen door. Okay, so there I am with all of my ribbon ties on there. And this is going to be very cute and patriotic. And looking at my glue has dried. So again, I took 2 cable mounts. I put a little dot of super glue. Right now I've got the Dab Rapid Fuse, but sometimes I use the Gorilla Glue super glue. Put a dot of that underneath the adhesive strip on the cable mount, and then I did add some additional glue where the little holes are on the sides, only because I've had it come out before. And then now I am going to place my sign. And I only used a half length of a pipe cleaner for my sign because it is the pancake wreath and it's not real thick. So, and I think I'm going to go very traditional and just place this in the center of the wreath. So I will have to kind of fish the pipe cleaners through the mesh because I have the ruffles and I don't want to pull those apart. But I'm just going to be patient with the pipe cleaner. And I've already got one through. So now I'll stick the other side through, or the other half, and reach for it on the other side. And boy, did I luck out there. I grabbed each of those very easily. And then I want to make sure that when I do this, here, I'll turn it over. Oops, I lost it. Shoot. Okay, hold on. Hold, please. All right. Oh, now I've lost everything. Okay, let me try over. So here I am, sticking the pipe cleaner through the mesh, trying to hold on to it on the other side. Oh, see, I jinxed myself. I said how easy it was. And then I lost it. Now I can't get it to go back through. Alright, so how am I going to do this? Okay, I can see my finger. Adding the sign is always the hardest part of making the wreath because you're trying to do it from the top to the bottom and you can't always see what you're doing. Okay, so I got it. And what I wanted to show you was that I want to take these pieces of pipe cleaner that came through from the top and I want to actually tie it around the frame of the wreath to keep that sign on there securely. And then because I was able to get it near a crossbar, I'm also going to use that crossbar to help me tie or to help keep that sign on securely. Now normally I also wouldn't turn my wreath upside down to show you guys to do that, but it's a pancake wreath. So I don't have a bow to worry about smashing or anything else. My goal is to keep it pretty flat. So I'm going to do the same thing with this side and the pipe cleaners on this side. I'm going to stick it through the mesh. I need that needle. Oh, like those crocheting needles? I do need one of those. think I had one at one time and then I lost it. I probably didn't lose it. What happened, Terry, was I moved my craft room from upstairs to downstairs. Oh, and Teresa, a yarn needle works great too. Okay. So I think the next time I'm in Michael's or Joann's or someplace like that, I will definitely pick one up, or I'll have Amazon deliver one. Because right now I am my struggle is real right now. Because apparently I am right in between two ruffles. So I've got like 6 or 8 layers of mesh that I'm trying to push through. And I'm afraid to let go of the side that's already gone through. Huh? Okay, where's it at? There's 1, 2. Okay, you're almost there. You're through 2 layers. Go through the other layer. Oh, you're almost there. Yeah, this is definitely the hardest part of the whole wreath making. It's getting that through without the needle. Oh, I see it, I see it, I see it. Hold on. Totally gonna cheat and use my needle nose pliers. Well, I thought I was gonna cheat. Oh my gosh, come on. Are you through? Oh, it's caught on a fiber. I also have the sun right in my eye. Okay, get off the fabric fiber. Dear Lord. Okay. You're off. Now you're off. Okay. It was stuck on one of the fibers in the fabric mesh. Okay. So again, I pulled it through after much ado. That was a lot. You want to know about my basket with the mesh in it? Okay. It's my very fancy mesh roller. So my basket with the mesh in it, I literally got a dollar store basket, the one with the little holes in it. I've been mean to it, I broke it. And then I took a plastic hanger and I cut the end of the bottom of the hanger off. And this basket is wide enough that when I need to, I can actually put 2 10-inch rolls in here, and it's like my little mesh roller. So it's perfect, and I have a little tiny table that I have over on the side that's off the camera that you guys can't see that I use to pull my mesh. Let's see if I can zoom out if that helps. Oh, I am zoomed out. I am zoomed out all the way. Yeah, but that's all it is. It's just one of those Dollar Tree baskets, the ones with all the little holes in it, and my fancy hanger. Okay, so here's the wreath so far. It is very thin. That eagle looks adorable on the wreath. My design idea worked by having the blue in the first 2/3 and then the red and the white in the remaining 2/3. Now I do have some stars that I could attach, and if I want to, and I can either attach them directly to the pipe cleaners or I can cut those off. And I'm not really sure what I want to do with these crazy stars. I mean, I could hot glue them in. I have to duck down so I can see because the sun's hitting me in the eye. No, I think I like this just very simple without all the additional glitz and glamour. So I will go back through here and I will cut off my remaining ties. Another option that you have if you weren't going to add anything else to your wreath would be to take the ties and kind of twist them. Sometimes I have an old jewelry file that I keep, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my pipe cleaner and I'll twist it around there, and then I pull it out, and then I pull a little, and it gives me a little curly Q. So I think you guys, if I do that, you guys can see it. So sometimes I do a little curly Q as well, but I've already snipped off 2, so I'm committed now. Here I go. I learned early on not to cut these off too early because sometimes you make design decisions later on in the process and you wish you would have had those to be able to add things to, or still have, you know, if you want to add an additional ribbon or add mesh tubing, something like that. And if you've already cut them off, then they're gone. And you have to add additional pipe cleaners. Alright, so I'm just going to trim these little guys off. Now I am using a wire cutter for these because I don't want to ruin my scissors. I don't have my heavy duty wire cutters out, just little ones. Here my sign's covering up my pipe cleaners. Tuck those in. Pull the ribbon out where the sign isn't covering it all the way up. Oh, that's cute. Alright, looks like I've got 3 more to clip and to tuck in. And then I'll go back through one more time and look at my ribbon tails. Because like right here, they're pretty scawampus. And I want them to lay nicely again. So, okay, so it looks like I've got all of my extra pipe cleaners trimmed. So now I'm just going to go through, and I like to curl them a little bit. Again, with a pancake wreath, you don't want too much volume, but I do still want them to look like they're finished. So I will come through and I'll run them through my fingertips and kind of curl them just a little bit, kind of like a hairstylist does when they're getting ready to trim hair. That warms the ribbon up a little bit, allows for it to curl. Pull these down so that they all can be seen. I don't want any too much to be hidden underneath these gigantic ruffles. That looks really good. Fix a few of these blue. I'll be all set. clean off some of my workspace so it's not nearly as cluttered looking. And that'll give us a better view of our finished product. It's a little better. All right, so what I ended up with is, let's see, it's still 22 inches, so it's still a full-size wreath. So, you know, when you hang it on your front door, you're not going to feel like you're missing out on anything. So I do have a full-size wreath, but it's not very wide. It's literally 3 inches wide, or 3 inches deep. So this is a very cute wreath that'll fit nicely on a front door between a screen door or a storm door. And this eagle from Miss Tina is super cute. And if I hang it the way that I want to, it'll look very patriotic, with this part being for the stars and this part being for the stripes. So thank you for joining me. It was fun to see some new names here and to interact with you. Again, my name is Holly. The name of my store is Silver Knew Nothing, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. Have a good evening, everybody.